Alright. Ring, ring, ring. Pretend like the episode just started. Hey!
This is my university one, so hopefully no students accidentally call on. But...
Well, they can join the podcast. Welcome to Talking Over Albums, blah, 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 78 or 79. This is the cliffhanger episode since the John Mayer one, where we were despairing, but fortunately God abandoned all of the Trump supporters, and here we are today.
Is this your first one post-election?
No, I've done another episode.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the best there's so much that's gone on. What's the best album that can...
Well, you were wanting to do Rage, so I was thinking either Evil Empire or Battle of Los Angeles.
Which one was, let's see here. Maybe let's do the 99 one, just so might have some type of idea what they're talking about. I guess 96, you're 11 years old.
Yeah, I wanted to jump in the album pretty quickly, but I also wanted to ask you about the, what possessed you to drive to the insurrection?
Well, I was thinking about it, the week before.
About joining it?
I kind of wish I would have got all the way in and, done the Trump, the MAGA hat. I probably could have got even... I felt like I got decent interviews just having neutral clothing on, but I probably could have got even better if I'd been are we going to bomb this place?
Quit being pussies.
I should have pushed them on. But, yeah, I was trying to find, no one could go up with me. I almost got Josh to go up with me. Yeah, so I didn't tell my parents, I'd mentioned it something to my mom, but I knew, if I told my dad the day before, he'd be like, you shouldn't go up there. So I just waited to call him when it was, on the way back, and it had already happened, so there was, he's like, I'm proud you went up there. I'm like, yeah. I don't think he would have said that if it would have been, the day before.
Right.
But,
Well!
Because I called them up, they're like, do you see what's happening in D.C.? I was like, oh, yeah. Back.
Yeah, just look at CNN right now, I guess.
It wasn't as dramatic in person as it seemed on TV. It was
because it probably never is
going up front, but I did hear some gunshots, but I thought that was someone was just shooting off firecrackers or something.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess. So Rage Against the Machine.
I think of Brad for some reason. It comes to mind. I don't know if he was. Maybe it was POD. I don't know if POD was the Christian version of...
It was great. In an apologenetics class, he was like, dude, Pastor Jerry, Jah is a term of reverence. What does that mean? It's what's Jah? It's it's Rastafarianism.
Youth of the Nation.
That just seems disrespectful.
Did we listen to Rage and...
I
feel there had to be some of that, it had to be going around somewhere. I don't know.
I liked Audioslave, which was Rage, but with Chris Cornell. I thought they were a more well-rounded iteration of the group.
Like we were saying before, I think Rage was too... it was okay to be Metallica rebellious, Kill 'Em All, just that kind of stuff, but Rage was going against the Republican values of Calvary. That was a step too far.
Yeah, let's be real. We went to a Christian school. Even the most rebellious kid in it was still in a Christian school. I was such a pussy conformist, basically. I had a horrible attitude, but, I would still just do whatever anyone told me to do. So, thank you, I will do what you tell me.
I remember listening to a lot of Metallica with Rob and Dave. And Nirvana and smoking pot. So there was that kind of rebellion, but it still wasn't George Bush's The Devil rebellion. The only person I remember at Calvary that was kind of anti-Bush was Ryan Herron. Because he was working at Circuit City. And he was I hate Bush. And we're that was sounds like a new category. We're I didn't know that.
Yeah, I skipped most of the teen angst thing. It's not entirely fair, but the Rage Against the Machine type of thing. I always find it kind of cringy. Maybe it's because I never went through it. I guess it's a natural phase, like when you're getting out of the Matrix, and you're like, oh, I grew up in the Empire. And
I feel
like I had that stage later on, but it wasn't like I didn't go through the anger, like I just want to break stuff portion of disillusionment. So rage has never, I don't know, spoken to me in any meaningful way, but I enjoy them.
I think the closest I got was in 2012. I voted for Jill Stein, which I'm still gonna regret that vote, but especially now. That was the most left period of my life.
Are you ready to testify?
Let's do it. Ready? 1, 2. What does the Battle of Los Angeles mean? What was
I don't know. It just means the one time my landlord wouldn't let me pay my rent late. That motherfucker! Oh, here it comes. Man, I'm gonna have to edit out a lot of swears in this episode.
Oh, the whole album, basically. I have to look up all the lyrics on these, because it's, like, impossible to follow along.
There's this sweet middle spot, like, it's not your Fish fans, it's not like your... Oh, there's like your old-timey stoners, like your Grateful Dead stoners, then there's like your Fish fans, but then there's like a sweet spot between like metalheads and Fish fans that like Rage Against the Machine occupies, where it's like the angry dreadlock, like pseudo Rasta, and I've known a lot of those types in my life, and they're all annoying as.
There's so much going on in this song.
What if Trumpism, Rage becomes their poster boy band?
Well, they try to do that. Did you see that Jordan Klepper thing where it's like, conservatives are the new punk rock? You gotta watch it. It's like they're like, we are the new punk rock.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're just rebelling against reality itself, or like the whole idea that there is a discernible there's any kind of agreed upon reality, then yeah, it's like, holy shit. Like, that's pretty out there.
Yeah, it's
you can't trust any media.
Guerrilla radio. Transmission, Third World War, predicament weapon. I lick shots at the brutal charade as the polls close like a casket on Truth Devoured. Who's the lead singer of Rage?
Zach
something?
De La Roca.
Did he go join a communist revolution in Africa? Or
you
something?
bring this up every time, even when every podcast we've done, you somehow bring that up. I don't know. He probably wrote a book about it. He probably has a manifesto. Why don't you read it?
Zach. It's not Zach Galifianakis.
Zach Galifianakis of Rage Against the Machine.
Zach De La Rocha. Let's see here. Africa. Let's look it up. His father was let's look it up on Wikipedia. His father was a Mexican American with some African and Jewish heritage. Let's see here.
He's got all his bases covered.
His activism. Here we go. He spoke on the floor of the UN, testifying against the United States and his treatment of Abu Jamal. In favor of the Zapatistas.
So he was testifying?
He was testifying, that's right.
Was he rapping to the UN like this? Listen up, you corporate motherfuckers! No, he's probably like he's probably like Lil Wayne on the Chappelle Show, where like he'll talk like this, and then all of a sudden he'd be like, "Yes, gentlemen, thank you. It's nice to be here to address the UN this afternoon. Thank you for having me."
I was watching the Young Turks today, and they were talking about how Trump pardoned Lil Wayne and like all these rappers, and then all the white supremacists, they didn't get pardoned. It's like all the people that were at the rally got hung out to dry.
Well, because They're not wealthy or famous or in his inner circle.
That's right. Lil Wayne, they knew how to play it right.
What did Lil Wayne do?
Probably, I don't know what his charges were this year. Lil Wayne, pardon. Lil Wayne, Kodak Black, and others pardoned by Trump.
This is a cool guitar effect here. This kazoo guitar effect. Oh, he's whispering. You know, it's really sick knowledge.
An army of pigs tried to silence my style. That's why I radioed that. Like, do you think they're really this angry all the time, or is it just like they just kind of put this on?
What do you think?
It's exhausting. It'd be exhausting to be this angry all the time.
You're not gonna silence me, pigs!
More for Gore or the son of a drug lord. That's a good political quote at the time. Calm like a bomb. Well, I saw one the other day that, I don't know if it was actually, it's hard to know if it was real, like someone's trolling, but they're like, basically it was that Trump actually is in charge. They let Biden stay in power because they didn't want to start the Civil War, but instead of killing him, like, he's just being controlled by Trump. Which I guess is like a good conspiracy
whatever,
theory.
yeah, just, yes,
like,
he's controlling things from behind the curtain. You just relax, go away.
Yeah, it's one of my mom's friends was huge into that. Like, she was up at the event, and like within like 30 minutes after the attack, she's like, it was Antifa, and like, so I don't know what she did. And like 3 days before the inauguration, she was talking about how there was going to be blood and a civil war, basically, and then nothing happened. So I don't know how she, like, I guess she just kind of go into.
It's just weird watching people get pushed further and further into the rabbit hole. That, like, eventually they just end up like face planting into the most obvious conclusion, and then they just end up like spinning in circles. Like, maybe things just sort of happen the way they happen. Like, holy shit.
Like, I don't know if like the Q. Like, the person actually, like, really is just deluded and thinks that, or it's just, like, someone that just loves to, like screw with people, and the whole time it's just, like, entertaining people. I mean, he's going to come out and, like, write a memoir one day.
Oh, you mean the guy who actually started it?
Yeah, whoever. Yeah, I mean, there's probably, like, multiple people now that are Q.
I think it came from, like someone who genuinely believes something, and then like just some core of an idea, and then it just spiraled out of control after like the more people started to clamor onto this thing. It just grew into a giant fucking monster. Yeah,
it was. I mean, what is so like even if it was like Nostradamus or something, where it's like so like vague that you can interpret things in any way. Like, there's going to be tragedy on the horizon. Like, these are like very direct things. They're like. Biden will be executed.
Yeah, like, he will cut the toenails off his left foot and dispense them into a decanter. Mic check! I think he says mic check at the beginning of every song.
Come with fire only Marley can catch. Now scream within cages, then make you pull your just get your share with this mic device. I spit nonfiction. Who got the power?
I spit nonfiction.
the priest, that book. They got some like Rastafarian, or like, I don't know if they're just trying to like use that kind of language in here. The priest, the book, or the congregation.
Right.
The prawl tricks who rob and hold down your zone.
I've never paid attention to any Rage lyric. I don't listen to him for the lyrics. I listen to him for the funk and the hype. This has a really cool rhythm. Like, yeah, like I was like dumping on him at the beginning of this, kind of, but like, they're a good band. I mean,
I'm sure I mentioned this earlier too, but the when Paul Ryan was like, they asked him like what was his favorite band, and he's like Rage Against the Machine.
Man, remember Paul Ryan? That guy jumped ship real quick. I can't wait till he weasels his way back. Like, hey everybody, did I miss the party?
Yeah. I just can't imagine why, if you were a Republican, be like, or even a Democrat, like, unless you were just like, even Bernie Sanders would be like too far right for Rage, but like, if you're a Republican, be like, I like Rage Against the Machine. Him and Ayn Rand are my favorite inspirations.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
have you listened to much of Tom Morello, like his acoustic stuff?
No.
Like, I guess he was, I don't know if he was the lead guitarist, the rhythm guitarist.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he's got the one, I don't know if he's still doing it or not, but he'll go to protests and, like, do all the acoustic stuff, do This Land Is Your Land.
Does he do the sweet turntable? Can he do the turntable effect on an acoustic guitar?
There is the one, you know the song, The Ghost of Old Tom Joad?
Yeah.
So, like, him and Springsteen do it, the song together.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why,
I forgot.
When I do protest music in Greenville, I'd open up with The Ghost of Old Tom Joad.
Yeah, I forgot Springsteen does that as well.
Yeah, I like some of his stuff. Have you seen that movie they did about Springsteen, like the Indian kid from in England who was like obsessed with Springsteen? It came out like a year ago.
Oh.
I guess it was a true story.
Oh yeah, because I kept confusing that with the that Beatles movie.
Yesterday. I am the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, the Newsom, the rapist, the field overseer, the agent of orange, the cost of my desire. This is like when we become rulers right here.
They should do a movie like that, but with Rage Against the Machine, and everyone's like, we don't care.
We had to listen to Rage at some time in high school. Like, was Brad Scarce a Rage fan?
For me, it was just Guitar Hero. Like, that's all I knew their music from, really. Alright, what song is this?
There he is. I should add him on here.
Born as a Broken Man. And the next song is Born as Ghost. Were you born as a broken man or as a ghost or both?
Born of a broken man, but not a broken man. Born of a broken man, never a broken man.
This is how bad my childhood was. Yeah, see, this sounds more like Audioslave, just the more like straightforward, head-nodding rock.
What years was Audioslave?
I think the one with the fire on the front, that was their second one. And that was like 03 or 04. So I think it was like 2001 or 2 that they got together.
So it was the whole band minus...
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think they might be the only great supergroup, because supergroups almost always suck. I think Audioslave. I'm trying to think of... Well, no, they're the group that was a combination of Cream and... It was like Cream with Steve Winwood. Blind Faith, from like the late 60s, early 70s. They were really good. So there's been like maybe 3 good supergroups ever.
Was Audioslave political, or were they?
No. It was just singing about sex, drugs, and rock and roll, I think. Although there was like some of the mental illness stuff in there, which Chris Cornell always would touch upon, like Black Hole Sun type of the downward spiral.
Here's the quote from De La Rocha about why the band broke up. He said,
"Because I was too hot."
Let's see. I feel that it's now necessary to leave Rage because our decision-making process has completely failed. It's no longer meeting the aspirations of all 4 of us collectively as a band. And from my perspective, it undermined our artistic and political ideal. There was so much squabbling over everything, explained Morello, and I mean everything. We would even have fistfights over whether our T-shirts should be mauve or camouflaged. It was ridiculous. Patently political and terribly combustible. It was ugly for a long time.
Sorry, you should have stopped it just because it wasn't about me anymore. Like, I don't know if it's fair. Like, that's what I'm trying to think of. Is like, is it fair to be snarky about the sentiment? Like, is there a good angry just perpetually angry rock music, because for me it's all fairly like eye roll inducing.
Yeah, I mean,
but I don't know if that's fair.
I feel like half the songs were like this, and then like they threw in like kind of a neutral song every once in a while that was a little different rhythm. It would bring it out, like it just seemed like kind of like one long song.
Yeah, because I think the difference for me, which is why I've already brought up Audioslave, like to me it's kind of like Audioslave is much more mature. I don't know if there's something inherent about singing about politics that's like, it's just like inherently cheesy or something, because you had like Audioslave, who's primarily, if it's like when it wasn't about like sex or drugs, like, you know, just usual standard hard rock fare, like it was like it was still serious. It was about, you know, it had like a lot of like mental illness and despair kind of topics, but it felt like it had weight to it. And is it just because politics is, even if you agree with it, it's like inherently preachy, like that might be part of the problem?
It's a hard thing to, like that, I was showing you that Killer song where they're like, in the land of the free, like it was all like good lyrics in theory, but it was like, it came off as like so, like SNL quality of, I feel like War did a good job of kind of like hitting those political topics without becoming. But
you two's, yeah, like one doesn't really rock that hard, but like two, it has the luxury of having like softer moments to go into for self-reflection. You can't really self-reflect in this style of music.
Would it go against the style for them to like have a slow song? Or they just like kind of like, even like having like a slow bridge or something?
I think all they could have really done was like just an acoustic song, like just like one on an album, because I don't think they could have really stylistically veered from this, because you can't do anything else with rap rock. It's not like you can't do a rap rock ballad.
I guess were they the first real rap rock band? Were they
No.
before Limp Bizkit, right? Or were they?
No, like in Living Color, they were like an all-black rock band in like the late 80s. They had what was their not in Living Color, their song, like they weren't a true rap rock band, but like it was close enough. Like, yeah, they formed in '84, Cult of Personality. But yeah, whatever. It's like funk, rap, rock. Oh, and you want it all, but you can't have it. Faith No More.
Oh yeah. Well, like Linkin Park and all them, they were all like the offshoots of this music, right? Like Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any. Are there any like popular bands today that are? Or is this style basically? Did it die with Linkin Park?
I think it's mostly dead, but there are still some rap rock bands. I'm sure.
Linkin Park was the. That was like the Calvary acceptable one. Like it was just rebellious enough.
Yeah, it seemed like everybody at Calvary loved Linkin Park. That was.
In the end, it doesn't really matter.
I've become so numb.
My job is to kill you if you forget to take your pill. What is this here? Her soul as well. He whips her. I don't know what this. The 4-man approach. Is this like about?
It's about torturing old people in a nursing home.
Sold and shipped across the new line of Mason-Dixon, ripped through denim. I mean, I guess this is the danger. I guess everything politically, like, if you want to be really angry about something, you could always find something to be, like, you could be like living in, like, Denmark and the best government, and you could be like, if you want to, like, you could find something to be continuously angry about.
Sorry, I was searching for something else, and David Brent's "She's the Serpent She's the serpent who guards the gates of hell. It's the best 5-second song ever written.
What was the other song he did when
Free love on the free love freeway, where love is free and the freeway is long.
You know what? This next one, The Voice of the Voiceless, is about Mumia with Buljamar. What's his name? The guy who killed the cop in Philadelphia, that Abul-Jamar or something. Have you heard of him?
No.
I used to listen to that podcast. It was like Best of the Left, and he had a podcast from prison. They let him do a podcast. I don't know if he still does it or not. But
was he doing from home prison?
But I guess the song's about him, because this next one, the Voice of the Voiceless. A 15 exposed Philly's finest killing machine with boots and mad guns. You try to pacify, you young cause and effects. Smell the smoke in the breeze. My panther, my brother.
Wait,
you're free.
The lead singer wrote a song about himself?
No, this is about him, though. I think this song is about Momio Amul Jabbar or something. I can't pronounce it right. But he was like, I think he was a Black Panther that they said was being attacked by a police officer. So it's always been disputed if he actually should be in prison. You see that, like, all these people in Portland got arrested for trying to attack the Democratic headquarters after Biden got elected. I think Antifa.
Okay.
Actually, I kind of hated it. It was that's so overboard. Like, everything's just so overboard in Portland. It's like, I don't know what. Like, they have the most progressive city in the U.S., and they're like.
You're lucky nobody listens to this podcast. Otherwise, somebody from Portland might listen to it, and then you might get a hate mail.
The Dow Jones Sky and the cell block livestock.
Yes. Yeah, see, this is where it starts to get repetitive. Like, that guitar riff is just sort of interchangeable in a lot of these songs. Like, you know what one of the best Rage Against the Machine songs is? Lazaretto by Jack White. Like, I always love when some other artist does a band better than the band did themselves.
Have you listened to Love Is Blindness with Jack White?
He covered U2.
Yeah, I forget it was for some movie, but it was actually
that one with Jimmy Page and The Edge and him.
I think it was actually just him. I don't think it was with The Edge. I'm trying to remember what movie it was on. But yeah, like he did a pretty good job. Like, it's a lot heavier than.
Oh yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Did you ever see that? It Might Get Loud. I think that's like The Edge is. I'm not even sure why he was in that, because it was just some like documentary thing about The Edge, Jimmy Page, and Jack White talking about guitar history. Like, I don't know who put that together or why, because like Jack White and Jimmy Page are both firmly rooted in like the blues tradition, where The Edge has made a living off of heavily delayed 12th fret. Nothing that he said, she said bullshit.
It was like so trivial compared to like Rage was trying to be like so political, and Limp Bizkit was just like.
Well, Limp Bizkit really knew the truth. Like, if you really know what's going on, you just say politics.
Limp Bizkit. Ryan Vaughn was a big Limp Bizkit fan. I remember that.
Of course he was, and he probably loved Dane Cook as well. Yeah, like that's the even better attitude of just like, I ain't got time for politics. That.
That was the ultimate rebellious. Yeah.
Like, what? You want me to care about you?
Here we go. In Appalachia, is the priest that you as they whisper holy things.
Ashes in the fall.
In Appalachia, I don't know what seeds planted by our forefathers' hand.
So
man soon will be free of blot and mixture. You were chosen. I guess it's like against maybe Manifest Destiny or something. So
like every now and again they would have really cool arrangements. There's This is like the third song on here that isn't just doing the... Like, they actually took some time to come up with, like, a clever, interesting arrangement. So, like, they had it in them. It's just that, there was just a stock Rage Against the Machine backing track that they would just kind of rinse and repeat, too much.
Someone posted on Facebook, I saw it yesterday, that they were angry because Jennifer Lopez sang "This Land Is Your Land," and they're like, "This land is the natives' land," and they did this thing about how "This Land Is Your Land" was like white supremacy, and like I stopped myself from commenting. I'm like, the whole point of the song was like anti-capitalist, but so they re-recorded the song about how this was, I forget what it was, but basically like how this land your land was racist.
Dumb wannabe liberals, stop ruining it for the rest of us. Thank you. In the public service announcement.
I was like, Woody Guthrie was like the anti-fascist singer. Like, you're trying to make it. I know, like, that song's been used like for nationalist purposes, but that wasn't the point of the song. A rising sun looming over Los Angeles, 'cause for Rasa living in La La, it's like Gaza to the dawn of it. Reaching for the lessons that masked passed on and sees the metropolis. It's you that build on. Everything can change on New Year's Day. Everything can change on New Year's Day. War within a breath. It's land or death. Their existence is a crime.
This is not good podcasting. People can look up the lyrics. All right, what's your favorite? Not traditional folk, but just like a pop song. What is your favorite protest / just politically bented song?
I think...
And it can't be anything by U2.
Besides U2, I like the Ghost of Old Tom Joad. I think was that originally Rage?
I thought that was a traditional folk song.
Was it?
Yeah, because I really doubt Springsteen would be covering Rage Against the Machine.
Let me see. I still feel like that's my favorite. I like Solidarity Forever, too. You see the Ghost of Old Tom Joad who wrote it. You need to watch the one with him with Springsteen and Tom Morello. Oh yes, it was written by Bruce Springsteen in '95. I guess, or with God on Our Side. Dylan had some. He became very apolitical later on in his career. But
have you ever listened to his Christian albums?
What years were those from?
I think it was late 70s or into the 80s. Like Slow Train a Comin'. One was just called Saved. And there was a third one. He had this trilogy. Oh, if you want an interesting John Lennon outtake, it's probably on YouTube, but John Lennon got really pissed off after Bob Dylan wrote You Gotta Serve Somebody. Yeah, John Lennon lost his mind it's kind of understandable too, because it's somebody who you maybe it's a lesson of don't put anyone on a pedestal, but I think it was John Lennon kind of idolized Bob Dylan, so when he joined a religion and was writing this song of you have to serve Jesus, he just took it as this betrayal, and then he wrote the song called Serve Yourself. But it's not what's better than just the song is there's this 20-minute long outtake, or just compilation of outtakes of him writing the song, and it goes from super angry to sort of palatable and releasable, but you can just see him working out his anger through this song.
It's weird to think of the Beatles having an idol to look up to, but I guess Dylan was
yeah, they loved
for them.
Elvis, Buddy Holly. Yeah, because Bob Dylan was already kind of popular and on the scene for a couple of years before they got famous.
He's not really...
Oh, is the album over?
Powerful. Let me send you the one more link here. Have you heard the song The Road I Must Travel? The Night Watchman, The Road I Must Travel. So this was
The Road I Must Travel.
I guess it's 13 years ago now, so it's...
One of the YouTube thumbnails for the video is just him with a giant head of Gandhi.
He's got... That's the funny thing is he puts up Gandhi and like all these like revolutionaries that.
Once I had a reason, don't know what it could be, and the road I must travel.
So yeah, I guess Tom like kind of carried on the tradition of
Is this real?
What?
This is awful.
The idea of like protest music.
Of being talentless and everyman.
The road I must travel is that I cannot see. Well, or the anti-protest revolution.
Oh yeah, that's a whole like beautiful untapped genre.
Was that Paul that wrote that?
Of like, I know it has to exist, but I can't think of anything. Like there has to be something, right? Like, oh, like I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. Just yeah, like just pro things that don't verge into like Johnny Rebel, not just like racist music, but just like affirming the status quo of.
I had my students like sometimes in the South, like the students can be pretty conservative. It depends on the class, but like I had my social studies class, and for some reason this year they were like very very leftist, like, and so we were like listening to protest. We did music for social studies class. There was this one country song that's a new one that one of the students was showing that was like, put that in your country song. And it's basically like, I'm trying to think who the singer is, but basically the whole idea is like country music is weak and like you're not talking about any substantial issues. So it's kind of like this protest music within country music. Kind of like what was the name? Dixie Chicks kind of thing where they're going against their own culture or whatever.
Man, they're lucky they did that during the Bush era and not now. They would have been like burned at the stake. They should count themselves as lucky.
I guess, Tim McGraw and Garth Brooks, that they performed at Biden's thing. It was...
Oh, yeah.
But, maybe they're...
Let's give your rating. We'll wrap it up.
I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. The political
that's a very
drop.
Conservative rating. Give it either a 1 or a 10. That's what Rage would... I'm going to give it a 1 and a 10.
That's right, at the same time. And Zach needs to come back and,
yeah.
Take out Bernie Sanders from his left.
God bless him wherever he is. I'm sure he's like in Guatemala doing ayahuasca and writing some fan fiction about his own life, about how he's the modern Che Guevara.
He probably did a flip and he's probably part of the Proud Boys now.
That'd be awesome. You go so far left that you warp back to the other side, the political spectrum. What do I believe?
There's some lady on my Facebook who's supposedly super super left, but she ended up just defending Trump the whole time. It's the Democrats are corporate warmonger. It was this weird thing where it's
Stockholm syndrome.
You're
political Stockholm syndrome, or no, that wouldn't be the right term. Damn it, there's something like that happens in real life.
Yeah, it's I don't know if she's actually far, or if it's just a thing to be ironic. So it's you want to call the Democrats out on everything for not being left enough that it's at some point you start just praising the right wing leader. It's like Tulsi Gabbard or what's the name? Have you heard of this Kim Iverson? She's she's on YouTube, but she's kind of like that. She claims to be leftist. But,
oh, you mean Jimmy Dore?
Yeah, it's basically the Jimmy Dore thing, where it's you're so far left that you end up just being it's either they're all the same, and at some point it's actually the Republicans are better than the Democrats because at least we know where they stand. Or it's one of those things where it's
yeah, at least we know they're just objectively. It's like it says in the Bible. It's if thou beest lukewarm, I will spit thee out. And I am spitting out the Democratic Party. I'd rather just... At least you know what you're getting.
What happened to Jimmy Dore?
Fascism.
I know he got kicked off of Young Turks, or he made left, but...
He's made a living out of throwing the baby out with the bathwater, basically. this idea of, like, we gotta retreat into the woods and start a movement. If you're trying to make change from within an established organization, then you. All right, what are we doing next week? Or not next week. Next time in 2 months when I do another episode. Eventually, we got to do every day.
Every day. And, I was thinking War by U2 would be a good one at some point.
It's too good.
Maybe Unforgettable Fire. Maybe we could do Unforgettable Fire for. I guess that would have been good for MLK Day, but we could maybe next year for MLK Day we could do.
We'll just record it earlier, and I'll save it for next year.
Hopefully, I can get the COVID vaccine. Supposedly, the university's going to offer it to us next month. So,
good luck with your Mark of the Beast.
You have to get the 666 with it. Is that?
No, it'll be like 669. Like, oh.
Is the vaccine the Mark of the Beast?
We should do a separate episode on just end times movies, because there's been quite a few that I haven't seen, like nothing really recent because I don't think they do them anymore. But like every now and again I'll happen across a bargain bin. There'll be something I just haven't even heard of.
It did kind of die out, I think. Like, did the genre? I guess it got surpassed by QAnon. Like it's.
Yeah.
Maybe they just decided they're going to worship the Antichrist. So it's like
people got bored with the Antichrist end times, and now it's just like the Trumpian end times, like the QAnon end times, where Trump is both savior and Antichrist at the same time. All right, I gotta go. Thanks.
Okay, man. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, good talking to you.